The Superstition Mountains beckon. These rugged peaks have long been the subject of legends and lore, whispered tales of hidden treasures and lost mines that have lured many a dreamer to their rocky embrace. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dig into a story that's pure gold. Literally. Imagine the thrill of finding a nugget like this, the sunlight dancing off its surface, promising untold wealth and adventure. It's the tale of Goldfield, Arizona, a town born from the sweat and dreams of prospectors chasing the mother lode. These men and women braved the harshest conditions, driven by the hope of striking it rich. Picture this, 1892, the heart of the Superstition Mountains, a land whispered to hold treasures untold. The air was thick with anticipation, every shadow a potential hiding place for the elusive gold. It's a harsh beauty out here, the kind that tests your mettle and makes you feel truly alive. The landscape shifts with the light, revealing new challenges and opportunities with every passing hour. Now, toss in the glint of gold, and you've got yourself a recipe for one heck of a wild ride. The promise of wealth was enough to make even the most cautious soul throw caution to the wind. Our story starts with a fella named George Upson, a man with a dream and a determination that could move mountains, or at least dig through them. Some called him lucky, others called him crazy, but one thing's for sure, the man had a nose for gold. His discovery would change the fate of many, drawing a diverse crowd to the Superstitions. He stumbled upon a vein so rich, it sent shockwaves through the territory. This was no ordinary find. It was a mother lode that promised fortunes beyond imagination. News travels fast when gold's involved, and soon, folks from all walks of life were hightailing it to the Superstitions, their eyes gleaming with a potent mix of hope and greed. The mountains became a melting pot of cultures and dreams. Word on the wind was that Goldfield was going to be the next big thing, a boomtown to rival the likes of Tombstone and Jerome. The excitement was palpable, and the town quickly grew from a handful of tents to a bustling community. And for a while there, it seemed like they might be right. The streets were alive with the sounds of hammers and saws, the air filled with the scent of fresh-cut wood and the promise of prosperity. But gold fever, much like a desert mirage, can be deceiving. The initial rush of excitement often gives way to the harsh realities of mining life. It can make a man see riches where there's only dust and heartbreak. Many a prospector found themselves chasing shadows, their dreams slipping through their fingers like sand. The Superstitions, they weren't about to give up their bounty easy. The mountains tested every ounce of strength and willpower, throwing dust devils and treacherous terrain in the path of those who dared to seek their fortune. These mountains, they'd seen it all: sun-baked prospectors, greedy claim jumpers, and enough dust devils to choke a mule. Each day was a battle against the elements and the odds, but for a brief, shining moment, Goldfield was the epicenter of it all, a beacon of ambition in the untamed Arizona territory. The town thrived, its streets filled with the laughter and toil of those who dared to dream big. Goldfield had everything a boomtown needed: saloons, shops, and a steady stream of hopeful miners. It was a place where fortunes were made and lost in the blink of an eye. The miners worked tirelessly, their hands rough and calloused from the relentless pursuit of gold. Each speck of gold dust was a testament to their hard work and determination. As the sun set over the Superstition Mountains, the shadows grew long, and the day's work came to an end. The miners would gather around their campfires, sharing stories of their finds and their dreams for the future. Every now and then, someone would strike it rich, their face lighting up with joy and disbelief. These moments of triumph were what kept the dream alive, fueling the gold fever that gripped the town. But as with all gold rushes, the fever eventually broke. The easy pickings were soon gone, and the reality of the harsh environment set in. Many left Goldfield, their dreams unfulfilled, but their spirits unbroken. Today, the Superstition Mountains still stand, a testament to the dreams and determination of those who sought their fortune within their rugged peaks. The story of Goldfield is a reminder of the enduring allure of gold and the indomitable spirit of those who chase it. Gold fever may come and go, but the dream of striking it rich remains eternal. And who knows, maybe the next great discovery is just around the corner, waiting for the next dreamer to come along and find it. Now, when you've got a whole mess of folks flocking to one spot, you need a place for them to hang their hats, or in this case, their pickaxes. The gold rush brought a wave of hopeful miners, each one dreaming of striking it rich. They came from all corners of the country, driven by tales of glittering fortunes hidden beneath the desert sands. That's how Goldfield, Arizona went from a twinkle in George Upson's eye to a full-blown town practically overnight. George Upson, a visionary with a knack for spotting potential, saw the opportunity and seized it. He knew that where there was gold, there would be people, and where there were people, there needed to be a town. We're talking saloons, hotels, even a post office. All the essential ingredients for a rip-roaring good time, or at least as good as you could get in the middle of the desert. The saloons were the heart of the town, where miners would gather to share stories, drown their sorrows, and celebrate their finds. The hotels provided a semblance of comfort, a place to rest their weary heads after a long day in the mines. See, building a town from scratch ain't for the faint of heart. It takes grit, determination, and a whole lot of lumber. The early settlers had to contend with the harsh desert environment, battling the elements as they constructed their new home. Every building, every street, was a testament to their perseverance and hard work. And let me tell you, those miners, they weren't afraid of hard work. They'd spend their days sweating over hot rocks, hoping to strike it rich. And their nights, well, let's just say they knew how to let loose. After a grueling day in the mines, they sought solace in the camaraderie of their fellow miners, finding joy in the simple pleasures of life. The saloons were packed, the whiskey flowed freely, and the sounds of laughter, gambling, and the occasional brawl echoed through the dusty streets. These establishments were more than just places to drink. They were the social hubs of Goldfield, where news was exchanged, deals were made, and friendships were forged. But Goldfield wasn't all saloons and shenanigans. Nope, it had aspirations of grandeur. The town's founders envisioned a thriving community, one that would stand the test of time. They dreamed of a place where families could settle, where businesses could flourish, and where the spirit of the West could truly come alive. They even built themselves a schoolhouse, because even rough-and-tumble miners knew the importance of education. The schoolhouse was a symbol of hope and progress, a place where the next generation could learn and grow. It stood as a beacon of civilization in the wild frontier, a reminder that even in the pursuit of gold, there was a need for knowledge and culture. At least, that's what they told their wives back east. The reality was that many of these men were driven by the promise of wealth, but they also understood the value of building a community. They wanted to create a place where their families could join them, where they could put down roots and build a future. The truth is, life in Goldfield was a wild mix of danger and excitement, where fortunes could be made and lost on the turn of a card or the swing of a pickaxe. It was a place of high stakes and higher hopes, where every day brought new challenges and new opportunities. The miners of Goldfield lived on the edge, driven by the dream of striking it rich and the thrill of the unknown. Their story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the American West, a tale of adventure, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of fortune. Now, you might be picturing life in Goldfield as rough and tumble, and you wouldn't be wrong. The streets were often dusty, and the buildings, hastily constructed, bore the marks of a town that had sprung up almost overnight. But let me tell you, these miners, they knew how to live. Despite the harsh conditions, they found ways to bring a sense of normalcy and even luxury to their lives. Once the sun dipped below those jagged peaks, casting long shadows across the desert, Goldfield came alive. The cool evening air was a welcome relief from the scorching daytime heat, and the town's residents took full advantage of it. The saloons, with names like the Red Dog and the Lucky Strike, would be packed to the rafters. These establishments were more than just places to drink. They were the social hubs of the town, where miners and townsfolk alike gathered to share stories, news, and the occasional tall tale. Piano music spilled out onto the dusty streets, mixing with the clinking of glasses and the boisterous laughter of men who toiled hard and were ready to play even harder. The music was often lively and upbeat, providing a soundtrack to the nightly revelry. And it wasn't all whiskey and poker, though there was plenty of that. The saloons also hosted a variety of entertainment, from traveling musicians and performers to impromptu dance parties that could last well into the night. Goldfield boasted a surprisingly cosmopolitan air for a town its size. Despite its remote location, the town was a melting pot of cultures and ideas, with people from all over the world coming to seek their fortunes. They had a newspaper, the Goldfield Sun, to keep folks informed on the latest strikes and scandals. The paper was a vital source of information, providing updates on everything from mining news to social events and local politics. There was a barber shop where a fella could get a shave and a haircut, assuming he hadn't already lost his hair to a bad hand of cards. The barbershop was also a place for gossip and camaraderie, where men could catch up on the latest news and share their own stories. And for those with a hankering for something a bit fancier, there was even a photography studio where you could get your picture taken, all dapper and respectable, to send back home to the folks. These photographs were treasured mementos, capturing a moment in time in a place where the future was always uncertain. But let's be real, folks. Behind the veneer of civilization, Goldfield was still a wild and woolly place. The town's rapid growth and the influx of fortune seekers brought with it a fair share of lawlessness and chaos. Disputes were often settled with fists or worse, and the law, well, it had a way of being as flexible as a prospector's morals. The local sheriff and his deputies had their hands full trying to maintain order, and justice was often swift and brutal. It was a place where fortunes could change hands overnight, and where every stranger was viewed with a healthy dose of suspicion and a whole lot of curiosity. The transient nature of the population meant that trust was a rare commodity, and everyone had to be on their guard. After all, in a town like Goldfield, you never knew who might be carrying a pistol or a gold nugget, and sometimes it was hard to tell the difference. The constant threat of danger was a part of daily life, and it added an edge of excitement and unpredictability to the town's atmosphere. Despite the challenges, the people of Goldfield found ways to come together and celebrate. Community events and gatherings were common, providing a sense of unity and camaraderie in a place where the future was always uncertain. There was even a small schoolhouse where the children of miners and townsfolk could get an education. The school was a symbol of hope and progress, a reminder that even in the midst of the gold rush frenzy, there was a desire for a better future. And let's not forget the church, a place of solace and reflection for many. The church provided a moral compass in a town where the lines between right and wrong were often blurred. Families played a crucial role in the fabric of Goldfield society. Despite the rough and tumble nature of the town, there were moments of tenderness and love, as families tried to carve out a sense of normalcy in a place that was anything but. Daily life in Goldfield was a mix of hard work, danger, and moments of joy. The people who lived there were resilient and resourceful, finding ways to thrive in an environment that was as challenging as it was rewarding. As the town grew, so did its infrastructure. New buildings went up, businesses flourished, and Goldfield began to take on the trappings of a more permanent settlement. But through it all, the spirit of adventure and the lure of gold remained at the heart of the town's identity. At night, as the town settled into a quieter rhythm, the stars above the desert shone brightly, a reminder of the vastness and beauty of the land. It was a time for reflection, for dreaming of the future, and for appreciating the unique and vibrant life that was Goldfield.